Hi there, and welcome to Sports Nuts, the Sports Conspiracy Podcast. I'm Johnny Rash.
I'm Dante Toro.
I'm Joey Capone. What are we doing this week, Johnny? I don't know.
Well, I'm back this week.
Oh, you're back. That's right.
Yeah,
First things first.
The dad's back. He's here to make sure that things don't. Hey, glad you have mics on stands again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same.
The prodigal dad has returned.
The prodigal dad has returned. So this week we're talking a little bit basketball today.
Yes, we are.
So it's the NBA.
I love
playoffs,
basketball.
Right? Yeah,
I watch basketball.
How many basketballs do you like?
I know the rules. I know the sports.
Do you like the give and go? You like the alley oops?
I love the give and go. I love the way they dribble
Up and down the court.
up and down the court. I love it all.
It's your favorite sport.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Some people have said that.
Wow,
Good.
that was cute.
Thanks.
Thank you. If you didn't catch what I was doing, basketball.
No, I got it.
Good. But today we're talking.
We're on the same page.
Right now it's the NBA playoffs. As you
I knew
may
that.
right now.
I knew that.
I've been watching
Celtics
a few
are
games.
going up against the Nets right now.
That is true.
We're recording this in the past. By the time you're listening to this, the series is probably going to be
The
over.
Celtics are probably back in Boston. Yep.
Probably been swept.
they're
Yeah.
probably-
With their bags
probably
packed at
Yeah.
home. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Watching other games.
Watching other games. But right now it's 2-0.
Yeah,
series.
we're still here.
The series is still anyone's series, but probably by the time this goes live,
Safe
won't be.
assumption.
But the Nets have this one player who they got this year, James Harden.
Blake Griffin.
Oh, dude. Yes! Yes! Let's go! I'm so ready for this episode.
So before we get into the conspiracy of the whole thing, I just want to ask you guys, where do you think James Harden ranks as the best scorers of all time?
I thought you were going to ask us his weight.
What do you guess? Guess his weight.
How fat is he? I'd probably put him top 10 right now,
Top
but
10?
there's room to move up, obviously.
Are you talking all time?
All time.
Yeah.
He's one of the
Holy
greatest scorers of all time.
cow.
Easily.
Okay.
He's definitely top 10.
I would say 12. I'm going to say he's
12.
just outside the top 10.
Just outside. I'd probably
fair.
put him top 10.
I
I
think-
hate his game. I hate how he plays.
I also want to make that known. I don't like the way he plays, but that 1 year, he had 2 years in a row where he averaged like 35, and he had like 60-point games, 50-point games up the fucking wazoo. Yeah, the guy can get to the basket, shoot, gets to the free throw line like a million times a game, and he's just a good scorer.
Where is he actually ranked? Do we have a hard
All-time
answer?
scoring list? I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up. He's definitely one. He's definitely. A lot of guys right now are higher on the list because I call it stat inflation. Kind of right now we're seeing huge stat inflation everywhere. I was talking about this last night with some friends about how we're seeing all these triple doubles now and such because people taking a lot more shots, which leads to a lot more rebounds, which leads to a lot more assists.
Oh yeah, scoring nowadays is much easier than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah. So right now on the all-time list, he's outside the top 20 all-time. But he's also
That
only
makes
31.
sense. He's only 31.
I thought that's what you were asking.
He
Is where
also-
does he rank right now?
No. Where do you rank him?
like as just personal.
I don't know.
He's 25th all-time right now, right behind Manu, and Manu's 24th.
You
That's
have to
pretty good.
think too, like he really didn't start
He's
doing
ahead of
much
J-
until like 2013.
He's also ahead of Steph Curry all-time scoring.
That's crazy.
And you
Steph
consider
Curry's had
nuts.
injuries
Yeah.
too. Keep that
You
in
consider
mind.
Steph Curry a top 10, top 5 scorer of all time.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
He's got to be.
But yeah, Curry's 28th, and Harden's 25th.
That's interesting.
All
Though
time.
both those guys will be top 15 by the time
Definitely.
their career's over,
Definitely.
hands down.
So, as widely known at this point, James Harden traded from the Rockets to the Nets midway through the season.
Yep.
It was very interesting. The way it went down was just really weird. A lot of players will request trades from teams to try to get moved from their team. It's not an uncommon practice, especially in the NBA. But the way Harden went around it, especially with all the COVID protocols he kept breaking, all that stuff, was very peculiar and very, frontward facing.
Right.
But there's one method especially that James Harden used to kind of get around the system and try to get a trade done by himself.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about that today.
He tried to eat his way out of Texas.
Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll
about
see.
that.
We'll
so
talk
today we're
about
going to
it.
ask, did James Harden want out of Houston so bad that he wore a fat suit to the games to make himself look like he's in worse shape than he was? So the Nets would trade him. The Rockets would trade him.
I love this.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this. I remember when this happened, it was like not too long before we started the show.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
In February.
Yeah, so kind of synced up pretty perfectly. Been thinking about this since we started the show. So
Well, I
I'm stoked
figured,
it's here.
I haven't been able to sleep since this happened.
Nope.
I've just been keeping me up all night.
I figured with the NBA playoffs happening, James Harden, kicking ass again in the playoffs against their Celtics. This Nets team's fucking good. They're going to win every game. Might as well talk about James Harden.
Yeah, let's talk about him.
So let's get into
The
it.
fat ass.
This is what we know. So this year, James Harden got his wish. He got out of Houston on January 6th, 2021. It was the same day as the insurrection. We're not going to get into that. Very weird day.
Wow.
Very
what a weird
wild day.
Wild
Holy
day.
shit.
Wild day.
That
But that was the day James Harden got his wish. Got traded from the Houston Rockets.
That's what
to
everyone remembers.
the Nets. That trade. I have never seen a trade backfire so quickly for the team than it did for the Rockets. Because then they flipped their only asset they got in that trade. Well, they got Karis LeVert, which they flipped to Indiana to get Victor Oladipo.
And they got Oladipo, then they end up trading him for just a late first round pick, essentially.
So the Rockets essentially got nothing in that trade.
Yeah.
For James
They
Harden.
got nine. All right, they got 9 first round picks. Let's put that out there. But they're later on down the line, and those
for 15-year-olds
those
right now.
late picks, like years down the line, could be so risky. Like, yeah, they could work out. Like if that other team just starts to tank, or that could literally lead to nothing. So big gamble.
Yep. So leading up to this whole trade, it was a very contentious situation in Houston. You had James Harden breaking COVID protocols, as I said before. He wasn't showing up to practice. I remember John Wall. He had just been traded. He was like, "We're here to play."
Him and DeMarcus Cousins were saying stuff.
They were like, "We're here to play. James Harden's not here."
Yep.
It was very contentious between him and the rest of the Rockets.
The coach didn't know what to say.
Exactly.
He was just like, "He's not here."
Training camp shows up. He's not there.
Yep.
And all these things happen. He's just not showing up. He played 8 games to start the season with the Rockets through January.
His stats were not good.
No,
The clips were amazing. Like the little snippets that I saw of him just like standing still on the court, basically hands in pockets.
Yeah, not trying.
He did not
Unreal.
care at all.
He did not care.
You could just tell by his body language and you look at his stats. They're just not James Harden stats.
I mean, he was averaging 24.8, and it's 8 games, so it's like small.
It's a small sample size.
Averaging almost 25 a game, which is like below his career average. But that's how much he averaged in Brooklyn this year.
If you keep in mind though, the last few years in Houston, he was putting up like 30 something. So compared to those years, it was down.
I mean, this year as a whole, Harden averaged 24.6 per game. Last year he averaged 34.3. Year before that, 36.1. Year before that, 30.4.
That's ridiculous.
Okay,
That's why I think he's top 10 scorer of all time.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I have so this is Educate Joe on basketball, our new segment.
New segment in the middle of a podcast.
Why are they always shooting the ball at that hoop? No, why? Why did he want out, dude? Like if he was the guy on a team that was always like making the playoffs at the very least,
Yeah.
Like
because they never made it to the finals.
That's why. That's a weird situation because you look at it and like he was whatever he asked for, they gave to him. I would hear these stories where they'd have these games in like California, Florida, whatever, and they would have plans to leave that night, but since Harden wanted to go out to the clubs, they would wait another day and leave the next morning or afternoon. So James Harden can go out that night.
So he's rewriting the team schedule on the fly.
That culture was literally built around James Harden.
And he was the guy. So if they ever did make it to the finals or win the finals or whatever, it would be 100% on his shoulders.
Yes.
And instead, he
goes to another team
went to a
other
super
superstars
team.
because he can't do it himself.
But he can if he's
say
averaging 30-something points.
He would have done it if Chris Paul didn't get hurt in 2017.
I won't argue with you on that.
18.
I won't argue with you on that.
If the team didn't figure out how to shoot 3-pointers.
For 27.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I won't. I can't argue that.
He would have done it. He would have won a championship. And so I can't. And he missed his opportunity though. That was it.
That was
the
it.
shot
That
to
was
do with
it.
the Rockets.
Right.
The Rockets also have terrible team culture. The ownership of the Rockets are a
Awful.
mess. Are awful. All Houston sports have terrible ownership.
I was going to say, what is it about like the city of Houston? I don't want to slander the city of Houston, but it seems like everybody wants to get out of Houston.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason. I mean, ownership.
I've been to Houston. It's
not bad.
It's a cool town.
Texas
I
is
got
cool.
barbecue.
I mean,
I stayed in an Airbnb.
The Texans have the worst ownership in the NFL. Well, no, Dan Snyder, baby.
Shout out Washington.
But the Texans have some of the worst ownership in the NFL.
Yeah.
The Rockets have some of the worst ownership in the NBA. The Astros have an asshole owner, but I don't know.
They're also cheaters, but
cheaters.
we're going to talk about that some other time.
Fastball.
Oh, we actually did talk about that. Yeah,
we did talk
Check
about
that out.
Check that episode out. But
It's just weird. I don't know. Just weird.
Once they fired Daryl Morey and they brought in a new GM, I think that was the last straw for
him and Daryl Morey were pretty close.
They're very close. Yeah. So they fired. He was their GM.
He almost went to Philly. Harden. That was the other team in contention because Daryl Morey was in Philly.
I thought he was going to go to Philly.
I thought he was too. It was all up to Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Or, no, actually, it wasn't. They were going to include Ben Simmons. They didn't want to throw in Thibault and Maxey. they wanted both of them. They said, we'll give you Thibault, but not Maxey, and that literally drew the line.
That was so stupid.
So stupid. Why wouldn't you do that? You're making it to the finals.
You're going to the finals if you have Harden on your team.
Exactly.
But that's nonetheless, that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. What did happen was James Harden wanted out of Houston, and he got his wish. Yes. It was very contentious towards the end. A lot of bad blood being boiled up. I don't think Harden had the best relationship with the ownership. Mm-hmm. So towards the end of his time there was a lot of things. He just wouldn't show up for games. He was half-assing it. And a photo comes out from around that time too.
He just doesn't look good in blue. Come on.
Yeah, him in the Rockets' new blue jerseys.
Yeah, the baby blue.
Yep. And he looked a little.
It's not his color.
It's not. It's certainly not.
His color.
But he didn't look the best.
No.
But we'll touch on that a little bit later.
Okay.
He gets traded. He goes to the Nets and starts putting up numbers.
Led the league in assists this year.
Led the league in assists. Didn't have the scoring numbers, but didn't need to have the scoring numbers in that system.
Not on that team.
He changed his role. He changed who he was as a player to help fit the system. And the Nets are, I'd say, the favorite to win the finals now.
And that's not a hot take whatsoever.
No.
Does it feel to you guys like KD, Kyrie, and Harden aren't really members of the Nets organization, but they're just like superstars who happen to be wearing a black jersey right now? Like, that's what it feels like. Like, when I see them on the court, like, they don't feel like Kevin Durant, the Brooklyn Net. It just feels like Kevin Durant who's wearing this shirt.
I will say, I think one of the reasons why you would think that is because, one, last year would have been the first year for Kyrie and KD's first year in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. It was a weird year, pandemic year, this and that. And Kyrie sat out a lot. KD was out the entire year. James Harden just got to Brooklyn. This is really the first year where we've seen like them in a Brooklyn uniform. And with that being said, Kyrie still missed time this year. KD still missed maybe half the season or something like that with an injury, and James Harden came on later on. So it's still kind of getting used to seeing them in that jersey.
Yeah, and they only played 7 games together all
They
year.
also only played 8 games. They played 1 game before the end when Harden came back. They only played 8 games together all year.
Yeah, I saw that stat right before game 1. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's
what
what
the thing
makes...
is like, I understand, like, people like, oh, they only played 8-7 games, whatever it was, together. Like, who knows if they have chemistry. They don't need the chemistry. They're
they don't,
so good.
And that's what
they don't need it. If you're that good, if you're good enough, you have 3 top 10 players, which I think Kyrie is fringe top 10, but if you have 3 near top 10 players, you can play 0 games together, and you can figure it out. Yeah, exactly.
They can just play. I mean, the Olympic games.
Yeah, they played together before in the past. Yeah. KD and Harden were teammates in Oklahoma too.
Exactly.
There's something frustrating about that though. About I'll show up when the playoffs start. Like the Lightning did that this year. It's
a mentality now, bro.
Yeah, it's like Kucherov and Stamkos just happened to get cleared like the day before the playoff rosters come out. It's like, I don't know. It feels like, I don't know, man. And the NBA especially is like the worst culprits
LeBron
of
James
it.
goes 50% during the regular season and then doesn't pick it up until after the first round.
Mm-hmm. It's just frustrating.
That's just the truth.
I mean, you don't need it. I mean,
you don't.
Seeding. Talk about the conversation about GOATs. Everyone just talks about rings. They don't talk about like, oh, your regular season stats. Like, oh, Jordan had 6 rings. Like, okay, if I want to win 6, if I want to be considered the GOAT, I'm just gonna have to set out the regular season and only care about rings.
Yeah.
So it's all that people care about is winning championships. And if you're a franchise, that's what you want for.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. But for a fan standpoint, I like going to regular season games. I like seeing my team play 82 times a year.
Yeah.
And if the best players aren't playing, then it's kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
But going back to the conspiracy, the theory we have here.
Right.
Harden gets traded, and he starts putting up his first game. He becomes the first player ever to drop a triple-double in their NBA debut for a team.
Wow.
So he immediately showed up for the team, started playing well, and it's clear that he wanted out, and it worked, and he got out. So, but how far did he go to get out? And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more in the conspiracy.
Okay.
So I have the photos here for you guys. Sorry, listeners at home, you can Google James Harden fat. And,
you'll get a few different
Is that how you found these?
Yes.
James Harden fat.
Yes. So the first image is of him in Houston.
That one's so bad, dude.
That's so bad. It's how much do you think he weighs in that picture, or if it's not a fat
weighs just generally?
220.
Did you see what I did?
Yeah, I saw it over your shoulder.
Oh, really? Okay. I was going to say like 240.
I was going to say 220 is not true. That's what it's listed
He's
at.
listed at.
So, I mean, those are never right.
6'4", 6'5"?
6'5".
We'll
6'5", and they say he's 220?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, look at this
I
photo.
think that's...
No.
He looks 220 in that.
Dude, I was 220 like a month ago, and I'm 6 feet. Okay? This is no fucking shot. Is he 220?
I'd say 230, 240. That would be my guess.
I'm gonna say 255 in the bottom photo.
In the bottom.
6'5" is so
LeBron is like
tall.
270.
Yeah, no.
And he's 6'8",
He's one of the
6'9".
largest. Zion's like, how much is Zion?
285,
He's
280.
285, and he's.
Zion's listed at 285. Zion's 300 pounds.
You can't move like that 300 pounds.
I guarantee you he is
If
300,
he's 300
pounds.
pounds, I would be very impressed.
Yeah.
Zion's
I'd-
also like, what, 6'9"?
6'8".
6'7", 6'8", something
Yeah.
like that. He's a forward.
And he's built like he's built.
Yes.
Yeah.
That man's 300 pounds. That's a big
Conspiracy.
boy.
Conspiracy,
That's a
next
big
episode.
boy.
There we go.
Is Zion 300
At his
pounds?
biggest, maybe not right now. I don't know what he looks like right now. What I will say, dude, is there's a staggering difference in the weight in these two photos.
Mm-hmm.
How far apart are these two
week.
photos? Okay.
That's within a week.
That's within a week.
That's very
I mean,
interesting.
James Harden dad bod. James
Granted,
Harden.
those are two different angles, but they're not
They're
too
pretty much the
different. But they're
same
not
angle.
too different.
They're both
One of them's
profile,
more
side
close up.
shots.
One's a little wider. Like
I mean, I don't know how you get
No,
that
that's
angle.
why- that's-
I mean, you can see the boob. You can see the man boob right here.
even though it's a
You can
slightly
see-
different angle, you
You can see the body right here. So
And the thing is, in that second photo, he's also crunched, so you'd think that he would have
he'd have
more belly.
fat. Yeah.
And he doesn't.
So this seemed like a huge drastic body change.
you
It's
can't-
obvious that he didn't lose like 20 pounds in a week.
Unless that's all
You can't.
water weight.
But that's one
You
of the
just didn't
things.
drink water for a week or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how that works, honestly.
So
You can sweat out water weight.
did,
right?
did
Yeah.
Harden, either wear a fat suit or was it water weight? Did he try to put on water weight and then just sweat it out? I mean, UFC people do it all the time
Yeah,
where they try to
yeah,
make weight.
right.
Yeah.
And they'll just put themselves in a sweat lodge and
Right,
just kind of sweat
right.
out all their
Yeah,
their
it's
Juices, yeah.
The juices.
Yeah.
Sweat out their juices, dude. We're gonna put that on the show.
That's a lot.
Sweat out their juices.
Well, you just keep saying it over.
I do. Well, I can't stop
Sweat
thinking
out their
about it.
juices.
That's a lot of juice that man has to sweat out. That's a lot of juice that man had to sweat out if he lost that much weight. That's like
Yeah.
that's like a 15-pound, 20-pound.
20-pound difference.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
I think it might be possible though if you're like, it's not this like natural water weight. Like if what Johnny's saying is true and he was like actively putting on
Yeah, if you're
water
trying
weight.
to.
Purposely
If he was
trying to,
chugging
yeah.
water and then went to Brooklyn and was like, all right, like let's get in shape. Season starts now.
Yeah.
I could see it.
I feel like he easily like just was out of shape, wasn't lifting, eating, blah blah blah, and then the second that he got there and actually started being fit again, you can kind of lose weight like
Dante,
quickly.
you want to try this?
Sure, yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
I'll
let's do an
sacrifice my
experiment.
body,
Let's
dude.
do
I
it.
know that-
Why not?
Dante's really sacrificing his body for the mullet.
I'm doing
Hashtag
the
mullet for
mullet. Might
Dante.
be getting a tattoo. I don't know. Yeah, I'm a whore. Let's just
You are a
let's
whore.
just do a bunch of different
Dante
stuff.
likes to sell his body out for Lumberland.
For followers,
For
baby.
followers.
Yeah. Follow us, Lemon Each Kill, get a mullet.
You're pretty much those girls who just like pretty much get naked on TikTok. You're the same.
If I was a girl, I'd have an OnlyFans yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Easy,
So
easy
you're
money.
gonna put on water weight and cut it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
all you gotta do is sit in the media room. You'll sweat it out.
it literally. I don't have
I'm
to do much
losing
else
weight
than that
right now.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hot in this room.
Sure is hot in this room. So maybe James Harden put on water weight. Maybe put on a fat suit. It clears something changed.
Yeah. That's not
That's
natural.
a drastic change.
Or at the very
Or is it just a bad angle?
But like that's what we're saying. It's a similar angle, so it's like, is it a bad angle, or is just blue really not his color?
look at how if James Harden in that first photo walked into a wall, his nose and mouth would be so safe from any kind of impact because like he's just got like 2 inches of belly and
He's got
boobie
a lot of safety
hitting
net.
wall.
Big safety net.
And at the bottom, I would say that second photo, he looks thin. I wouldn't even say he looks less fat. I would say it's a thin guy.
He's fit. He's in shape.
Yeah,
That's a fit
that's
guy.
him in
Yeah.
shape.
That's a lot of weight. The more I look at it, dude, the more I'm thinking that's
Yeah,
not
can you,
an
can you
angle.
twist
That's
it a little bit? Can I
yeah.
just look at it a little bit
water
more?
weight.
He like looks good in that bottom picture.
he looks
Like,
great.
Good.
he looks like he's in very good shape in that picture.
Yeah.
That
only-
top picture looks like he hadn't played basketball in 2 years and just never trained nothing.
The only thing that makes me, at this moment, think about the water weight thing a little bit more is the fact that his face looks bloated. Like he looks like I don't know, like he ate a bunch of sugar or something, like, or he drank the night before. You know, like I don't know about.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sure, yeah.
He knew he had a week left.
Like
in
when I'm
Houston.
hungover, I'm so puffy. I look like I'm having like an allergic reaction to something. And that's what I look like on a Sunday morning at 10:30 in the morning, waddling to my bathroom.
So is the conspiracy now maybe James Harden was just really hungover?
I mean, he probably constantly is.
Yeah. But he never
Is he
really
a
looked
drinker?
that bad, though.
I mean,
dude, he goes
clubbing
out
every
all
night.
That's
the
true,
time.
that's true.
Yeah.
But like, he's never looked that bad before.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like he's gone out and partied for years, and he's never looked that big.
I think it could be like a fuck it, I want out of here. I'm just gonna party it up the way I really want to.
I know we haven't gotten to the rebuttal or the verdict or anything like that yet, but like the whole bodysuit thing, I feel like we should focus more on if he purposely got fat and not if he's wearing a bodysuit.
See,
That doesn't look like a fat. That
Here's
looks like
another
legit
photo
fat.
of him from the week before he got traded. And this is
That's
Look at
not
his
an
face,
angle.
dude.
That's not an angle,
His
dude.
face looks
but he
like
definitely looks bigger in this photo
than the bottom
than
one
the
for
bottom
sure.
one.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
man.
this is another angle. Look how look.
Oh my
Chugga,
god,
chugga, bro. Chugga, chugga, chugga.
That one on the left is
Yeah.
so bad,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
That's like your auntie. Oh no, you got auntie body.
Antibodies.
The antibodies. He's got the antibodies. He had the antibodies before anybody else did.
Yeah, that's bad. Oh man.
And this
I
is
will
him-
say his facial swelling is making me.
That's what makes me
steer
think he
away
actually-
from the fat suit
That's
idea.
what I'm saying too.
This is him.
I'm starting to steer away from the fat
This is
suit.
him in his first game with the Nets.
He looks great.
He
in
looks
that
incredible,
picture.
dude.
Yeah,
He
I'm
looks
jealous.
ripped.
I'm jealous of how good he looks in that picture. Holy shit!
Yeah, if you had to trade look with an NBA player, trade looks with an
James
NBA player,
Harden after James Harden to the Nets.
Yeah, he's up there on the list
James
for
Harden
sure.
post Nets trade. Damn.
God, he looks good.
It's such a drastic. Oh my god, he looks so good. It's such a drastic difference. Like that's the. It's not like it's like a little bit. It's like oh, like is it like you kind of think about it. That's a very big difference in body weight.
yeah,
Big difference.
I mean, okay, here's him in Jersey though, in the Rockets. Like,
His face.
You know
still
what
looks
this
kinda
might be,
puffy
dude?
there.
This might be. I mean, I'm not trying to jump to any verdicts
This
here.
is
We're still
brutal.
throwing
This
out
is
theories.
tough. This is tough.
I don't know if fat suit is the right word. What might be the case here is some heavy layering.
I mean, he's wearing a pullover. Okay, and here's him.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like there could be layers underneath that because, like, when he's just wearing the jersey, he does not look
But
as
look at
fat.
the stomach though. Like
This is another photo with him on the Nets now. He looks
different.
he looks a little big in that photo.
How far into? Do we
I think
know?
that's pretty. I don't know. But he'd have no reason to wear a fat suit once he's on the.
No, I know. I think I'm past the fat suit part. I think I'm just on the whole him getting fat period. I think that's where my head's
Like
at right
here's
now.
another photo of him with the Rockets before he got traded this year. We're just pulling up photos. Sorry, that's not the most audio. There's not the
That's
audio
a weird
pleasant.
angle though because his arm's kind of covering his stomach. It's not a side view like that. That you can look good in that angle. I feel like.
I think dude, I think it's possible that he could be wearing one because
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Okay, I have another.
That's
wild
a lot of
face, though.
difference.
I have
That's a
another
lot of
wild out of left field concept.
Okay.
Both?
Why not? Throw it out there.
So you know the movie Uncle Drew,
yes.
starring Kyrie Irving.
Don't tell.
You're saying Kyrie hooked him up with his,
Makeup
like,
and stuff
prosthetics,
like
guys?
that. Prosthetics. Did you just think of this, or have
Yeah, I
you
just thought of this.
He was like,
What's James now?
You
He
want
wasn't
to
an
come to
uncle.
Brooklyn, bro? Let me hook you up.
Let me hook you up.
I'll get you out of there.
I got a prosthetics guy. I know a guy.
That'd be so funny if the guy like couldn't half-ass it and he made James Harden look like 85 years old. He's like,
all I know how to do is make you look old.
that's all I got.
Yeah, James Harden got old this week. Jesus, what happened?
He finishes up, takes a step back, goes, "Wow, I really made you fat. Wow, I made you fat as shit." Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't. I
This
mean,
could
that
be.
is definitely.
That was out of left
that's
field.
a theory.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
definitely
hate
a
it.
theory.
I don't hate it.
I mean, at this point, I'm open to anything.
Uh huh.
I don't know. Oh man, I don't know what to think. I thought I was leaning against the fat suit more so because of how his face looked, but like. His face kind of looks chunky in most of the picture. And the beard kind of like.
Oh, he made it
doesn't
shave. The beard doesn't get thicker with weight.
But it kind of, it like covers up his
Yeah,
face. Like
exactly.
that you can,
Yeah.
like you don't know if it's fat all the
So
time.
yeah,
or not.
let's just get to the verdict at this point. I feel like I've provided
Oh,
enough
I
information.
don't know. I really
Johnny?
don't know. This is actually the first episode I've done where I don't know what my verdict is right
I think I
now.
have a verdict.
I don't.
You know what they say? The camera adds 10 pounds.
All right, I know my answer. I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'll go first. I have my answer.
You go first. I'll go second. You can round
Okay,
it up.
yeah. Let me think about it.
Okay.
So yeah, you know they say the camera adds 10 pounds.
They do say that.
I think that's what's going on here. I think it's just an unflattering angle. Wearing a little baggy shirt over his jersey. You know, wearing something baggy that kind of like pulls out. Just a poorly timed photo. Yeah, I don't think he was that committed to it. James Harden is not that smart. We could think of that stuff. You know, he's not a bright guy. I hate to say it. He's kind of stupid.
Yeah. I don't think he had to go that far to get traded.
Yeah,
I mean, he literally came out. He literally came out and said that like he was going to be gone, and the next day he got traded. Like that's all he had to do.
I don't think James Harden has the forethought to go ahead and put a plan like this together, where he's like, all right, I'm gonna gain 20 pounds of water. Right, they're gonna see how fat I got. And I'm like, oh, I have to trade me.
Yeah.
If I decide trade me, they can't trade me, and so that's.
You guys don't understand how true I want this to be. Need everyone listening, and you two especially, to understand I really want this to be true. I just don't think he could have lost all that weight in 1 week.
Fat suit.
Don't think the fat suit. No, I think it was just bad angles. I think he was layered up. I think maybe that was on purpose. He did that like as a ploy to, people take pictures, people talking about how he got big. Maybe he thought of that. Maybe he thought that through. But I don't know. I don't think he wore a fat suit because then the pictures, him in the jersey, I think he just bad angles and everything like that. No fat suit. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I really want to say he was wearing a fat suit or he gained that much weight. I really do, but I can't.
Yeah, I was hoping to walk away with a different answer than the one I came to, but yeah, I think the most logical thing in my mind is that the photos, he doesn't look fat, he looks bloated. And I think that you can get bloated by indulging in all of the things that you would like to do when you stop giving a shit. So like if I was a professional athlete who was throwing in the towel and stopped giving a shit, I'd drink more, I would eat whatever I want, I wouldn't work out as much. And like that looks like what he did. It looks like he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go out tonight. Fuck it, I'm gonna get McDonald's tonight. Fuck it, I'm not going to work out today," and got a little bloated. And then once he got to a team where, he thought he had a chance, does have a chance, has a huge chance, decided to turn it on and because his arms, like you can see in that first one, like the definition that's lost and then that's immediately regained. Like it looks like he's just bloated. Like it is water weight and whatever, and probably not intentional. Probably more just I don't give a shit. So why should I try to stay in good shape?
I think I can get behind that. It wasn't intentional of him gaining weight, but he just there's no conspiracy here that he stopped giving a fuck. I think we're all on the same page there. I think we're together at that argument.
But I think it's just bloated. I think it's just a quick little, if you eat a bunch of sugar and salt for a week, you'll look really bloated.
You'll look like shit.
You'll look like shit.
And I believe that Harden did that because he just stopped caring. And then once he got to Brooklyn, obviously he cared again.
Yeah. So, we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
It's a social.
Yeah, it's a social.
Unfortunate social. We're not fun.
Fucking pissed, dude.
Sorry, guys.
God, I really wish he
wasn't
gained
wearing
20 pounds on purpose.
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. Leave us a review. Give us a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about next week. We'll try to get to your episodes that you guys want to do. We've done a couple of viewer suggestions in the previous weeks. We'll get to some more in the upcoming weeks. Make sure to follow us on social media. We're everywhere. If you want Dante to get a mullet, go follow us on Instagram at mullet for Dante at Lumberland HQ. You can all follow our main account at Lumberland Co. Go follow us on Twitter at Lumberland Co. Or is it? Yeah.
Lumberland Co.
Yeah. Follow us on TikTok, where probably most of you guys are coming from regardless. So you're probably already following us. But if you're not, follow us on TikTok at Lumberland. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on LinkedIn. Follow us on Friendster, Napster.
Anywhere. We're everywhere.
Follow us on what other social media?
Follow us home from
Country
work.
roads.
Don't follow us home from work.
Take me
We have a threat
home.
this week. We're not playing with that again.
Okay,
next week.
don't do that then.
Don't storm our offices.
Don't raid our office. We'll call the cops.
We'll call the cops. So you can follow Joey home.
Or
though.
Big Nick.
Sure, come on over. I'm lonely anyway.
Yeah.
Come on over.
And thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Dante. Good episode
You're
today.
welcome.
Thank you,
You're
Joey.
very
And
welcome.
everyone just remember that the truth is out there. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.